resilience, together. We are proud of who we are and what we do. We are a founding member of the Football League. We are 1884. We are positive, inspired and passionate. We are now. We are moving together. We are ambitious and driven. We are progress. We are change. We are prepared, honest and humble. We are the highs. We are the lows. We are the heartbeat of our community. We are the famous black and white. We are the dreams come true. We are the club of opportunity. We are the memories. We are the yet to come. We are Derby.
Hello and welcome to the preview show from RamsTV. Derby County will try to continue their climb up the League One table this afternoon. They're facing Leyton Orient for the first time in nearly 40 years on what could be an interesting weekend in the promotion race. Let me explain why for you. 4 of the top 6 are once again playing each other this weekend. The big showdown comes on Monday night with leaders Portsmouth hosting second place Bolton. Portsmouth are 3 points clear at the top, but they have played an extra game. Third place Oxford play today. They're visiting Peterborough, who are 5th. It means there is a scenario that could see Derby move as high as 4th in the table this afternoon. Today's opponents, Leyton Orient, are 6 points clear of the relegation zone. Nothing too concerning about that, except for the run of form that they are currently on. More details on that a little later in the programme. Cheltenham have once again slipped to the bottom of the table. Reading down there as well due to their points deductions. Interesting weekend ahead in League One then. Derby going to Leyton Orient, where the Rams haven't visited Brisbane Road since May of 1985. But Derby go there in really good form, and at the end of the week that saw Paul Warne nominated for Manager of the Month after 3 wins out of 3 in the league in November.
Possibly. I mean, we got nominated last year, didn't we? So didn't turn out so great. So yeah, I'm not excited or bothered or anything. I mean, Tom kindly emailed me to tell me. But it's just about the team, and it's always about the players, always. So if the players perform, everyone looks good. If the players don't perform, everyone doesn't look so good. So it's a recognition of the players, and it surprised me really that Mendes wasn't nominated as a player. You do well to get ahead of his performances this month.
You kept things ticking over nicely on Tuesday night, progress in the EFL Trophy. What did you make of it?
I loved it. I really enjoyed the performance. You know, we keep banging on about, trying to play forward, be aggressive, press, get after teams, try and go forward when you can go forward. The energy of the team, like all the running stats were really good, and I'm well aware of the fact it isn't easy to play for us. We demand a lot out of the team. I don't like slow pedestrian football, really. I like us to get after teams, and if we're vulnerable at the back at times, I accept that. But it was really enjoyable to watch, really. And I know that they had a couple of chances, but it wasn't like we'd played an under-21s team or a struggling second-string League Two team. It was a proper League One team, so it felt like a proper game, and there were some really impressive displays within it, but I just thought as a team, and as I've clipped it to show them today, reinforcing all the really good things, but just about getting bodies into the box, running forward, all the necessities for victories was there. So all of that really pleased me.
And just on the wider point on injuries, because you involved some of the youngsters on Tuesday, I know that was sort of always the plan, but are you thin on the ground at the moment?
Yeah, we are a bit thin, but it's a bit boohoo, and I've got no issue with being thin on the ground. That's what happens. It's next man up. Like, we don't sign players here that we don't think are going to play in the first team. There's not like, we haven't got loads of developmental projects outside of the first team. The 21s are, we can bring them through. But so look, if we have 12 fit or 22 fit, I can still only play 11. I'm not going to worry about injuries. It's just about, it's disappointing at the moment. I do know we've got Tomo and Callum back next week, which is a boost. But, I just think that, I don't get too disheartened by it. We've got a really good medical team and they'll come back fighting fit. And I just think it's prevalent in all football at the moment, in all sport. There seems to be a lot of injuries this year, and we've been unlucky with a few and been disappointed with a couple. But generally, the lads who've been performing, we've gone on a good run. We're looking good fettle, and it'd be nice to welcome the injured lads back.
You're back on the road on Saturday. What does the scouting report say on Leyton Orient?
Yeah, I know Richie Wellens really well. I played with him at Oldham. I've seen his teams play. Was fortunate enough because of the timetable. Me and Rich went to watch him play against Chesterfield, although it was a different sort of game. But Chesterfield played really well on that day, and I do know that Leyton Orient at home to away are two different teams, and I do know that we take a great away following. It will feel like a big game that if they're at their best, we're going to have to be right on it. And I do know that games come down to the smallest margins. So if you were at the game the other night, we dominated for the first half. However, they could have scored with the one chance they had when they went in our box. So as always, we're going to have to be very good and diligent in all our things we do. Our one-on-one battles are crucial, so we've got to try and get the ball to the top end of the pitch and get into their box. I'm saying very obvious things here, but we've just got to keep playing at a tempo that other teams struggle to play against. And if we do that, we'll win a lot of games, and hopefully we'll win another one at the weekend. But if we don't, then we need to put a performance level on that enables us to. And sometimes you don't get what you might deserve in football. You're talking about a width of a post or a deflected shot. Like, in fairness, our first goal the other night was obviously not worked on. We don't work on corners that come to Connor, who shoots wide and it falls to Colo unmarked. That's just random. And sometimes to win games, you need the random things to go your way. So Saturday, we'll need to perform at a really high level. We'll need a little bit of lady luck, and hopefully if we keep our performance levels like that, the lads feel good about themselves, it should be a really competitive game. But I do know that they'll ask a lot of questions of us, so we'll have to be at our best.
Paul Warne there. More from him in Matchday Live on RamsTV from 2:30 this afternoon. Later in the show, we'll hear from Eiran Cashin, who's coming up against a former teammate for the first time today. Jordan Brown was part of the Derby Academy side that won the national title in 2019. So many of them have gone on to have terrific success already in the game. Well, Brown left Derby for Leyton Orient nearly 2 years ago. He'll come up against his former side for the first time today.
Yeah, obviously for me it was one of the first ones that I looked for at the start of the season. Really excited for the game, but also there's 3 points there to be going won. So got to be professional, prepare for the game like I prepare for any other game, and then go and enjoy the game tomorrow.
Just reflecting on your time at Derby, I mean, how much do you feel like you owe to them? Yeah, I owe so much to them. Obviously, that's where I came through. There's a lot of staff that are still there now that were great with me. A few players that I played with as well. And for me, the memories that I have there will be memories that I take with me throughout my career, and that's going, all the way to the end. So I'm very thankful to them, to ex-players, staff, fans. But like I said before, we've got a game tomorrow that we have to go and win. And we've prepared well this week and we're ready for it. Have you still got some people there who you're in fairly regular contact with? Yeah, there's a few of the lads, to be fair. I text them quite regularly. So, like I say, I'm looking forward to, after the game, catching up with them. And yeah, it'll be a good occasion, but let's go and get 3 points and happy days. For you, do you feel like there is a little bit extra on it for you then, heading into it? Listen, I think if
you can't look too far into it. It's a game of football that you want to go and win every game of football, don't you? So you prepare as well as you can. Obviously, you're playing against people that you've played with before, and you know you're familiar to. But like I say, it's a game of football that we need to win. We're well prepared for it, and I just can't wait to get out there and enjoy it.
That's former Ram Jordan Brown, who has been pretty heavily involved for Orient this season. Last year's League Two title winners made a good start to life back in the third tier, but they've struggled of late. Last weekend saw them knocked out of the FA Cup by non-league Chesterfield, but they've got bigger issues. Orient are winless in 6 in all competitions, just 1 victory in their last 10 overall. Their last league win came almost 2 months ago away at Carlisle, and their League One winless run stands at 7 matches, though they have only lost 2 of those. Well, what a contrast to Derby, whose winning run in the league now stands at 4 games. Things getting better and better for the Rams in terms of the table and the stats behind the scenes as well. But everybody knows that they have to maintain those standards. No one has played more minutes for Derby so far this season than Eiran Cashin.
Yeah, confidence is up. I think it was a good performance, and again another win, and we're starting to put a bit of a run together, which is good. So yeah, long may that continue.
Defensive record's been fantastic. You're scoring goals as well. It's not a turnaround, but obviously you are in a real groove at the moment. So what's been the secret behind it?
Nothing really. I think we've just been, consistent, and we've sort of maybe upped our standards maybe a little bit in training when it comes to like scoring and training and stuff, because it's habitual. So when it comes to games, then it comes second nature, and sort of, like for months we've been saying, oh, we're nearly there, we're getting there, we just need that last little bit, and I think it's slowly starting to, now you can start to see it's really coming together, and that's why we're putting a bit of a run together. Is
there still a feeling though that you have maybe a few more gears to go through?
Yeah, of course. We've definitely looked back at the games that we've won like recently and thought this is what we could do better. And every day after games, the gaffers pulling us saying, I think you could do this. I think we need to do this as a team, or maybe here do this. And obviously you can always get better. So that's always a positive, and we know that we can get better, which is always good going into more games.
And it's been another really busy season for you. You've played more minutes than anyone, all competitions. Are you feeling it, or are you feeling okay?
No, I'm fine. To be fair, it's probably one of the benefits of being so young. But no, I can play games week in, week out, and yeah, luckily I recover well. So yeah, it doesn't really bother me. And like I say, as many minutes and as many games as possible, and just trying to learn off the senior lads, I guess.
Is there ever any question, so Tuesday night, for example, about wanting a rest, needing a rest? Does the manager ever come and have that conversation, or does he not need to?
I don't think so. He'll come around in training and stuff and ask how my legs are, and he does that with most of them. And I think, obviously, with there being quite a few senior lads that are pivotal to our success, I think maybe he sort of gives them the rest that they probably need and deserve. Whereas me being a bit of a young lad, sort of don't really get them. But I don't mind that, because, like I say, the senior lads are the ones that are going to drag us through games and give us them wins. So for me to put in a few extra yards, that makes sense.
You're facing Leyton Orient on Saturday, and potentially a former teammate, academy graduate in Jordan Brown, part of that 2019 class that won the national title, and we've talked about it so many times. On him, first and foremost, are you still in touch? You speak to him?
Yeah, I was speaking to him the other week, actually. Yeah, he said I'll see you in a few weeks, and yeah, so I'm looking forward to it.
How pleased are you for him? He promoted last season, he's part of the team this year as well, so to be going and having success elsewhere.
Yeah, buzzing for him. He's a lovely lad, one of the nicest lads you'll meet. A very good player as well. But I mean, on Saturday he won't be my friend. Let's just put it that way. Until after the game, and then I'll ask him how he is. But no, obviously it's buzzing to see him do well, and hopefully he just doesn't do too well Saturday.
I've looked back at that team from time to time from 2019, and obviously there's a clutch of you that are still here, but Jordan Brown has moved on, Morgan Whittaker's moved on, Archie Brown as well. Do you ever look back at that and think about how special that group was? Yeah,
we was talking about it the other day, actually, about how many of us have actually gone on to have senior careers, which doesn't happen often. So yeah, it is a bit, looking back, it is a bit surreal, thinking like we actually went from, looking back there, it feels like kids, you know what I mean? It feels like ages ago, but yeah, we've all sort of kicked on. We've all gone through different paths and stuff, but we've all sort of had our own little bit of success, which is nice to see. And I think, you know, that's always that winning that season is always something that's going to keep us together and bring us together, like, in years to come.
Eiran Cashin talking to RamsTV there. Here's your League One weekend lineup then. Peterborough against Oxford is today's other big game. Derby are hoping that Burton Albion can do them a favour against Stevenage, while Barnsley are away at Reading. And of course, that top of the table clash on Monday night sees the top two go head to head on the south coast. But today we are heading to the capital for Leyton Orient against Derby County. Overseas viewers can watch all the action with us on RamsTV. Matchday Live is with you from 2:30. Get your Game Pass now at dcfc.co.uk. And we're back here with reaction after the game as well. Until then, goodbye.